What's up, everyone? Welcome to a special edition of the Xander Effect. I'm your host, Xander Dames. Decided to go ahead and do the special edition, seeing as there's a lot of protests going around right now all over the nation in regards to the passing of George Floyd at the hands of four Minnesota police officers, and it has affected many people, like I said, all over the nation, including here in Los Angeles, where Mike Nightmare Weekly, he is the drummer of the band Dirty Machine, who I play here a lot. He was actually in the middle of all this that was going on earlier this evening in downtown Los Angeles, when the disturbances turned from a peaceful protest to pretty much violent. Two officers have been injured of the Los Angeles Police Department. They started. There was mild looting here and there, so they had to call in the riot squad. And Mike was actually right there. He was doing a Facebook Live, showing everybody on his Facebook friends list what was going on. And he right after that, he got home safely and everything. But I had him on the line to pretty much give his account of everything that he experienced, everything that happened at that time. So this is the Xander Effect special report right now, and I got on the line, Mike Nightmare Weekly. He's the drummer for a band that I play on the Xander Effect a lot called Dirty Machine. And Mike, right now, like you're just getting home right now because you were in the middle of downtown Los Angeles. Like, how in the world did you find yourself in the middle of all that? I was watching your Facebook Live feed, and there was police officers and riot gears. What happened?
Bruh, man, yeah, you took the words out of my mouth. It's really happening. And yeah, I was just coming back, from work, and I live, in Koreatown, and I passed through downtown to get through there, and I saw all these, the ghetto birds overhead, and someone had texted me, a friend of mine texted me, and she was like, "Yo, the riot's happening. Are you safe?" I'm like, "Wait, it's happening?" And then I drove through downtown, and boom, I found myself smack dab in a mob of people that were already ushering towards Spring Street. And I was like, "Yo, like, where's this happening?" "Oh, it's right over this way." And so I parked my car, and I was like, "All right, let me just tag along and see what's going on, And bro, it was nutty. It was nuts. Like,
and you weren't at all, like, you weren't protesting or anything. You were just trying to get home.
Well, at first I was just trying to get home. Yeah, because I didn't even know that I'm so aloof to what's happening around me sometimes that I honestly didn't know that the riot was happening here. I heard, we'd all been watching the news, and there had been protests going on all over the place. And I heard that, it might be coming to LA, but I didn't know it was actually happening. And apparently it's like 4 days deep. And they've been doing this. But where I work is way up in the valley. So, they ain't protesting up there. So, but when I saw this, I'm like, oh, I need to get in on this. I will tell you, I was actively protesting. I didn't know it was right there, but I was like, all right, let's do this.
But you were protesting in a peaceful manner. You weren't being violent or anything. Like everybody is like starting to become pretty violent right now.
Yeah, in fact, it was where I was standing at. I was standing at the corner of 5th and Spring. That was where the riot team, LAPD riot team, had bottlenecked local traffic, foot traffic, automobile traffic. They can let you pass through downtown via 5th Street or Spring Street. So that's where I was standing. And right, little did I know that they had a line of SWAT on one side, or a line of riot crew on one side of the intersection, and then another line up on the other side. So I was like, oh snap, I'm like right where they meet, like almost like Civil War style. And I looked beyond the line that they were holding. You could see there were squad cars there, there were fire trucks there. You could see smoke and haze, on either side of where I was standing. So I had to get it on live to show people I'm like right in the middle of it. You know what I'm saying? Right where it meets. Mm-hmm. So we were standing there. Nobody was throwing anything. Nobody was vandalizing, nothing like that. But everybody was banded together, like They were yelling Black Lives Matter. They were yelling like, obviously fuck the police. They were saying y'all are wrong. Like, how can you let this go? But you could hear stuff popping off though at the distance. You could hear, okay, something was going on beyond where we couldn't see it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, and then like you saw like a gang of like riot crew, like maybe 30 officers. You can see it on my live feed. I posted both my live feeds. You can see there's probably like 20 or 30 of them that ran right past us, like they were going to go handle some shit. I was like, oh no, it's about to go down. So then I was like, all right, let me just get out of here, because like you said, that's where you never know what can happen. And
it gets out of control very quickly. And by the sounds of it, it seems that you were doing a peaceful protest, but obviously the atmosphere changed rather rapidly. It went from being peaceful to suddenly becoming violent. I mean, was there a reason that incited the violence? Was maybe that police were getting too aggressive, or maybe the people were just like starting to, maybe there was a few bad apples in the crowd and the protesters that decided to, start disturbances? I mean, how did all this start begin?
Well, when I decided to leave, I went back to my car like near Broadway, and I was like, okay, well, now all the traffic's being funneled to a couple streets. So I tried to get to 7th. I like serpentine my way to 7th. And right when I got to 7th Street, I can't remember what I was turning off from. There was a congregation of these people. They were all just sitting in the middle of the intersection. I'm like, man, that's my right to get on 7th to get back home. I'm good. Let's go. But these people stopped. Like all the traffic stopped because people were standing in the middle of the intersection. And I see this white thing fly into the middle of the intersection, and it was on fire. And it turned out to be one of those white barricades. Those, like, you know what I'm saying, like the orange and white barricades they use to block traffic. Mm-hmm. Someone had lit it on fire and chucked it in the middle of the intersection.
Wow.
And then people started throwing other shit on like in the fire, like their cardboard signs. They're throwing clothes, glass bottles started flying at the fire. They weren't throwing it at the police. They weren't throwing it at other bystanders. They were throwing it at the fire. So it was like a massive bonfire on 7th. And so the fire trucks started coming around, and they tried to get through. People would let them through. So the firefighters just stood right next to my car. You can see it on my live. They were just standing there. They're like, well, they ain't gonna let us do our job, so let it burn, I guess. And within minutes, the riot crew had ran over to that intersection, and they just started popping off rubber pellets. They just started lighting it up. I was hearing like boom, 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 and people would get tagged with the pellets. Hello? And I was like, oh God, I had never experienced that before. Like, never. And you saw people just scatter. And I was like, oh, hey, look at 7th Street, open right up, let's go. So I took off, man. That fire got huge, man. It looked like Gotham City.
No, like, it was insane. And I know which one you're talking about, because there was actually 2 fires, because I was watching the news while this was going on, and there was 2 fires that were going on. And there was a garbage can that was lit on fire, but police officers put it out with a fire extinguisher. And then there was the fire you were talking about, because I was watching our local news station, Fox 11, and Fox 11 was flying right above that intersection where you were right there. And I was messaging you. I was like, dude, Fox 11's right above you filming this. Like, it's right above you, dude. It was insane. I was like, dude, this is insane what's going on, dude. And you were right there in that corner. Right there in that corner, man. where because I was watching your Facebook Live and I was watching the news. I was like, oh my God, this is like right there where he's at. Like right at that intersection. And another thing I did notice as well, and I was starting to get a little concerned for you, was the fact of the matter that when you were outside of your car and you were standing in that intersection, showing the police barricade that was right there, somebody threw what looked to be a bottle from above. And I saw that when it fell. Even the cops looked back behind them, and I was like, dude, you better get out of there, man. They're gonna start throwing stuff from the ceilings.
Yeah, shortly after that, I was like, oh wait, they're okay. And I actually pointed my camera at the balcony where it came from, because they were like filming themselves throwing a bottle at the cops. I was like, wow, okay, that's kind of dumb. But I was like, okay, you know what? They're going to start popping off here. I'm going to take off. But the crazy thing is at that intersection, bro, like if you go on YouTube or whatever, and if you can find the news coverage of that intersection on fire, if you look at the fire truck and the firefighters that weren't going in, my car was literally right next to those guys.
I saw that. Oh yeah, no, yeah. I saw that. Yeah, you were driving. You were trying to get out of there, man, and it was like, and I also noticed that you were like, there was a bicyclist that was blocking your way from getting through.
Did you hear what I said to him?
Well, I mean, I heard what you said to him, but what, like, you know, for the purposes of everybody else, what did you say to him?
Okay, for everybody that's listening in, like, this dude on a bike was trying to trap people into the protest. Like you can't retreat, you know? Wow. And I'm like, I put my window down. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? I'm gonna run you over. Move your bike. And he shook his head, no. And I was like, bro, why are you blocking me? You're blocking the brother? I'm not the bad guy. Why are you blocking the black guy? Get your ass over there where it's going down. Like, why are you blocking the brother? What are you, stupid?
Oh man, it's like they're forcing you to protest. It's like, dude, I've already done my peaceful protest. Y'all want to do your violent protest? That's on you guys. Don't love me with that, because that's dangerous.
Bro, I don't want a baton and a rubber pellet up my ass. I want to come here, make my presence, like, let them know, like, look, all the people here, all of Los Angeles is right here, and then I'm gonna break out of here. I'm good.
And you know what? I mean, this is something that has been boiling over for many years. I mean, remember, you know, like we were talking right before we started this interview, we were talking about the LA riots. I was here for the LA riots. I was a child when it happened, when about 4 houses away from me, an entire shopping center went up in flames. And it was the most surreal thing I'd ever seen as a kid. And the thing is that night, like, everybody's saying, oh, this is right. This is not a riot. These are disturbances, yes, but it hasn't gotten to riot level yet. Trust me when I say that. I mean, when it gets to riot level is when buildings start getting burned down, when people start getting injured and going to hospitals. I mean, it's insane. It's insane how it gets. When it happened in 1992, after the Rodney King trials, what ended up happening was so surreal. The entire city of Los Angeles was on lockdown. The National Guard was called in. There was a curfew. If you were seen outside of your homes past 8 p.m., you got arrested on the spot. I mean,
and everything, yeah.
Dude, it was horrible. The night sky was nothing but pink from the smoke of what happened. I mean, everybody thought it was clouds. It was actually smoke. And it was nuts, man. And that's what I'm saying, that, I mean, people always say that every 20 years or every 30 years, a riot has to happen. It's like, dude, does it really have to happen? It really doesn't. Not like this. I mean, I get it. I understand the anger that people are going through. Trust me, I saw the video. I was in utter shock. I was in disbelief to see that 3 officers would treat another human being like that, killed him in cold blood. I mean, that was the most horrendous thing I'd ever seen in my entire life that happened in front of me. And people, and the thing is that people are always like, well, the people that are filming should have done something. They couldn't. It was 4 armed officers, and it would have been, another victim right there if they would have tried something. Because at that point, if a crowd tries to go ahead and attack officers, they get froggy. They pull out their weapons immediately. So it was something unreal, man. And I mean, as far as you're concerned, Mike, you know, being somebody, you know, of African American descent, I mean, how are you feeling right now with everything that's going on? I mean, where's your emotions right now in all this?
Oh, you know, and it's crazy because I knew that question was coming, and I would be lying if I told you that I feel 100% safe, you know, for me and others like myself, or others that speak in protection of me and other minorities. Like I know that. I mean, I don't want to sound a particular kind of way, but I'm just going to be 100% honest. Like, when I hear people say I'm going to call the cops, I'm not just thinking like they're going to resolve a situation. I'm saying that is a risk. That is a risk. But I feel like I'm not safe. And it's not even the cops' fault, because in my live feed, It's not entirely the cops' fault. In my live feed, I was saying that it's not even, there's plenty of good cops. There's plenty of good people that are trying to do good things in this world against the odds. And they're trying to do their job and do what they say they'll do.
True.
But at the same time, the things that have gone wrong, these killings, these beatings, the brutality is not addressed proper. And I feel like, you know, it's going to keep going, and it's going to get worse. It's going to be kickback, as you see right now, and then it's going to have to get even worse than that before somebody actually makes a decision. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to say it in this interview, our commander-in-chief is perpetuating the problem. He is single-handedly going off and saying things that are not making it better. Mm-hmm. And that only makes me fear for my safety. You too, because you're of Hispanic descent, right?
True.
Like anyone who is a minority or that is an immigrant, like, watch your six, watch your back, like, because not everyone is looking out for your best interest. And for those who are, you keep them close, but always watch your back. That's how I always feel. Now, on the other side of that, I'm not going to stop living my life. I'm not going to stop doing what I do. I'm going to keep it dirty. I'm going to keep doing a dirty machine and doing my thing and being me, because that's what I have the right to do, as do you.
And that's the truth.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's the truth. And I mean, to reiterate what you were just saying about, you know, there being some good police officers, you're right about that. I have one of my good friends that I've known since childhood that is an LAPD detective. And I ask him about these types of situations, and he tells me in every single profession, there's always going to be a few bad apples. There's not much we can do about that. The only thing we can do, unfortunately, is just try to do our job the best we can, you know. But it's unfortunate that these bad apples give us a bad name. And the thing is, and it's so true, because he is such a good cop. My friend is an amazing human being. He's a father, a husband. I mean, he's, you know, when he grew up among gang members. You know, he's of Hispanic descent. He grew up in a neighborhood where there was a bunch of gang members. That's why he became a police officer, in order to fight for the little guy, to fight injustice, to protect others from these types of elements. And cops like those, there aren't too many around like that anymore. Some cops just get in there for the power trip. You know, I mean, I've seen a lot of police officers that have pulled me over. You know, it's an interesting story. One night I was actually, and I actually asked my friend about this. One night I was actually coming home late from a get together I was at with friends of mine, and a cop was facing, I would have to say probably facing south, and I was going north. And I saw the cop in the shopping mall just chilling right there with the lights off. It was about 2 a.m. Suddenly, he gets out of the shopping mall, and I saw him. I was like, oh, he's coming at me. He immediately sped up and started tailgating me. And about 2 houses away from where I live, he pulled me over. And so he comes out of the car, and I was like, yes, officer. I was polite, respectful, because you got to be respectful. I had my license, registration, all out, ready for him to see. And he comes up to me, and he's like, hi, how you doing? I was like, I'm good. And he's like, do you know why I pulled you over? I was like, no, officer, I honestly don't. And he's like, you had a tail light off, or you had a tail light out. Tell me how he was able to see my tail light when he was facing south and I was coming north. He saw my lights, but he never saw my tail lights. How did he see my tail light? Does he have X-ray vision? You know, I mean, he pulled me over. He was obviously profiling me. You know, he saw me in a junky little vehicle. He saw a Latin dude behind the wheel. He immediately pulled me over. So, I mean, in my opinion, that was profiling. That was immediate profile, because there was no way he would have seen my tail light busted. And I mean, he let me go because I was polite. He was like, do you have any, he actually asked me this, do you smoke weed? And I was like, what kind of a question is that? You know, I was like, not tonight. You know?
Yeah, that would be a bad time.
And so he asked me, he's like, do you have any drugs back there? Are you carrying any drugs? I was like, no, here, let me go ahead and lower my back window, so you can take a look. You want me to unlock it too? Go for it. I had nothing to hide, you know? Yeah. And that was my thing, is that I had nothing to hide from this person. So he saw that he couldn't get me on anything. He's like, so you live right here? I was like, yeah, I live literally right there, like right there. And he's like, all right, well, get your taillight fixed and have a good night. I was like, thank you. Give him my license, pulled right into my freaking my driveway. That could have gone a lot worse, to be honest.
Yeah.
It always could go a lot worse,
Yeah, man. Well, and the thing about it is, there's validity to when people say, just do what you're asked. I get that, because if you are respectful and you do what they say, it could possibly lower the what the outcome possibly could be, like in your situation. However, we have rights, and many people know that they can flex their rights, and I'm one of the people who don't know all of his rights. Now, I know that I'm not up to no good, so I don't mind if someone pulls me over. You're going to be sadly disappointed that you wasted your time, unless you give me a speeding ticket and I was doing that. But outside of that, if you're profiling me to match the description, bro, you just wasted an opportunity to actually catch the guy.
Yeah.
But that's a whole separate conversation for another time. But back to something that you said about the riot. I was 10 years old when the LA riots happened. I watched that on the news as a child, and I knew exactly what that was about. And I guess that's why when I was down there downtown tonight, I felt like, you know what? You can tell when shit's like, all right, this is bad. Like, this is really bad. So you can read a scene. But I was waiting for, like, okay, someone's throwing bottles and attacking cops. People are mouthing off. They got their pellet guns. Okay, you know what? I did my protesting. I'll be back for the next round if need be. But at the same time, I don't want to give these guys a reason to repeat a George Floyd.
True. And I mean, life is too precious. I mean, and it's so crazy that this is going on. Ironically, it's happening right as the governor is reopening things for the coronavirus, and this happens. And it's like, dude, seriously, like y'all just want to stay home now, don't you? Like, it was, and that's the other thing, is like, we're in the middle of a pandemic, and you all are getting together for a protest. Some are not wearing masks. Obviously, there's no social distancing. Obviously, it's just another reason to go ahead and spread the virus even more. It's dangerous. I mean, if the cops won't kill you, the freaking virus will. I mean,
but I'll tell you this, though, Xander, it has to be done. It has to be done. Like
I get it.
Like, the protest has to be done. The voices have to be heard. Someone has to stand up, and people are standing up. And I am proud to see all the walks of life coming together to stand. I am so proud of that. That lets me know that, okay, so you hear them sirens in the background?
Yeah, no, right now I'm hearing helicopters go over like near my apartment as well. I can hear them.
Oh, dude, and I live right where the Good Samaritan Hospital ambulance entrance is. My street tees off at that entrance. So if anybody's injured, they're coming right there. I'm gonna be hearing this all night. But this has to be done. It like, people, like, we got to keep speaking up. We don't have another Martin Luther right now. We don't have another Malcolm right now. Now it's on us. It is on every single person. We don't have that particular figure to do the hard stuff for us. We all got to do it now.
But my question is this: how far? I mean, how far is this going to end up going? Because, I mean, if these disturbances keep on getting bigger and bigger, if these protests keep on getting bigger and bigger, all they're going to do is bring in the National Guard, and that just ends everything, or it will get worse. And that's what I'm afraid of. Complete civil unrest. That is something that's very scary.
When Officer Chovid, right? Chovid, is that his name?
I believe so.
Chovid, when he is locked up behind bars, that will help quell the issue. When they charge the other officers that pinned George down unnecessarily, and then they go to trial, that will help. When justice is finally beginning to be served, that will help quiet the storm. But this is a protest about justice. Brutality is something that happens in the moment, right?
Mm-hmm.
It happens in a blink of an eye. Something escalates, and someone makes a decision, and now we have an outcome. Well, if that's how this is going to be, and these guys, if the people that are here that are sworn to protect us are doing this, no matter how you cut it, then they need to be held accountable to the fullest extent. Because murder is murder, no matter how you look at it.
Very true. Very true. And what they did was blatant, cold-blooded murder, what they did. And it was shot. I mean, what was irritating me is how the FBI was saying, we need to review this. Are you kidding me? What is there to review? The guy was killing him. You have 3 or 4 different people, like, they're witnesses. You have cameras all over the blocks. I mean, what do you need to review exactly? This is a joke. I mean, and I think that's what probably angered people even more, is the latency of action that there was. It took them, 2 days to put this person into custody? I mean, it doesn't make any sense.
And they said, and Minneapolis, I'm a Midwest guy. I grew up playing hockey in Michigan. I've been to Minnesota. It is one of the most diverse places you can go to. It is one of the most, I've always felt safe every time I've been to Minnesota. And for something like this to happen in a place where you shouldn't have to fear that, it just puts it right on your doorstep even more so. Like now, the whole idea that there is some safe place, some safe refuge is lifted. And now we don't know what's safe anymore. It's just whatever moment you're in. If I get pulled over by a cop for speeding, and that's all I did, but he asked me to get out of the car, I know he doesn't have, now it's going to an unnecessary level. Just give me my ticket and let me go. But if you ask me to get out of the car, that means you are suspicious of something. And you don't just have the right to willy-nilly do whatever you want off of a suspicion. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but they do have a job to do, and we have to allow them to do their job until they cross the line. And that line has been crossed too many times in the worst way. So,
I mean,
I don't mind.
There was even the one of the captains of the LAPD basically had a press conference today, and she voiced how disappointed she was in Los Angelenos, because she was like, well, we told you that basically, we're here to protect you for your safety. We're here with you for your safety. And, as long as you don't hurt any police officers, as long as you don't damage any private property, and as long as you don't hurt one another, we'll be fine. Unfortunately, 2 out of those 3 things already happened. 2 police officers are in the hospital right now because of protesters, and they've already started looting different shops right there near where you're at, actually. They started looting a Starbucks that was right there. It was all over the news. So, at that point, when that happened, that's when they brought in the police officers with riot gears, and they said, well, Los Angeles, you disappointed us. We were okay with the peaceful protest, but now you just disappointed us. I mean, it's insane, man. It's insane, and I agree with you. I agree with you wholeheartedly. But it's like one of my friends posted actually on Facebook, and also another gentleman of African American descent, and he said, just because he's in custody doesn't mean he's going to get convicted. If there's white judges, and if there's and they're already starting to bring up probable reasons as to why he's not guilty. Like, for example, George Floyd's underlying conditions, because they already said he had underlying conditions, possible even intoxication of maybe narcotics within the system. They're gonna probably try to use that defense to get this cop out of handcuffs.
Oh yeah, no, they're gonna try to do everything they can to bail him out, because that's it. Having a cop be locked up for murder in public, that's a dookie stain that you're never going to get out, and it will begin a cavalcade of other accusations, and it will bring in stricter protocol on how they handle things. It will cause a distrust. But number one, there's already a distrust. There's been a distrust of law enforcement for the longest time. It's always been there. And number two, chief of police, LAPD chief of police, I understand your concern and you don't want people to destroy property. I understand that, but this happened because people are angry and people are hurt. People are disappointed, and we're in a pandemic. All these things together, you're telling Angelenos, like, well, do it, but just please don't do that. Okay, that's fine that you ask, but it's LAPD's job to rectify the situation, and I will say, they rectified the situation as best they can. I got out safely. They used the pellet guns when needed to. Like, they're doing what they got to do. That's their job. They are public, employees, and they chose to be prepared to handle that.
And they weren't even aggressive towards you.
They weren't even aggressive. Like,
because I saw the video, and I saw that they were standing right there. They weren't aggressive. Yeah. They weren't even aggressive to a gentleman that got in their face and was talking madness to them. And they didn't even do anything to him either. They didn't try to they didn't provoke. They weren't nothing. They were very peaceful, and they were like, talk all the stuff that you want, just don't come near us. That's the only thing we don't ask. Don't come near us.
And they burned a plastic barricade and some signs and some bottles. Okay, that's great. They looted. Yes. Okay. Yes. But this is a tiny bit of a snowball of a situation in comparison to the 92 riot.
Oh yeah, almost definitely.
And LAPD did the diligent thing to get ahead of it.
Because they're prepared. They know they've already gotten trained from the 92 riots. They know exactly what to do now. I mean, with technology and everything else, how much we've come, over the years. I mean, they were actually saying the police officers already were getting ahead of the riot before they even got there. They knew where they were going to go, what perimeters they were going to block, everything. They knew exactly how to map out how to stop this from getting out of hand. Because why? Because they've already done it before. They've learned from their mistakes in 1992. They had another small disturbance when the Lakers won a championship. They know how to deal with these types of situations.
We've had about 6 or 7 different protests between the Laker riot and now. Like, in LA, in general, we had a couple really big ones. The Women's March for Planned Parenthood that happened down here. Mm-hmm. Like, that was a peaceful protest. Mm-hmm. Things didn't get out of hand. People were able to do what they got to do the more diligent way. The Occupy LA, yeah. Like, okay, they handled that. But and as I sit here, I'm saying the police, aside from my opinions of situations, they're doing what they should be doing. I'm not seeing people get hauled off and beat with batons. I'm not seeing, the looters throwing, what they call those, the Russian cocktail bombs.
The Molotovs.
Molotovs, yeah. They're not throwing those at windows. They're not rolling over cars. They're not, you know what I'm saying? Yes, police officers get hurt. They did. And that sucks. But so did a couple bystanders doing some dumb shit. Yep. But it still could have been worse. Now it's still happening. Like, I hear the cops. I hear the choppers. You hear the choppers. Mm-hmm. We hear the sirens. They're still doing their job. I don't know what's going on now. I got out. A lot of people got out safely.
And that was a smart thing to do. Because you were part of the peaceful protest, not a part of the violent protest. So once it started getting violent, you were like, I'm getting the hell out of here.
Yep. Deuces. Like, I want to live to protest another day.
Exactly.
So, but once again, you can't shame the people for how we feel. And we need that validation. The people need the validation for how we feel. Yeah, like, people are lighting shit on fire. Yeah, like, people are getting hurt as this goes on. But a defenseless man in police custody was fucking murdered.
Yep.
You can't, and that is a representative of the people. Yep. That is the people. You've killed another one of the people. Now, say what you want to say, but we're not outright going out and trying to kill police. We're not. And we need a representative. We need a leader to validate the people, hold those guilty accountable, and create change. And a lot of us, let's be real, Our current leader ain't trying to do that. He's not trying to do that. So what happens? People take to the streets and they say, well, fuck it. Let's go let them know then. Let's go let them know. If our leader of the one of the most powerful nations in the world ain't trying to help make it better, ain't trying to make it right, well then, all right, people, get your fists in the air and let's block some intersections. I get that.
And I mean, that's just something that needs to be done. I mean, it needs to be done right now. The voices of the people need to be heard. And again, you know, I mean, it's interesting because earlier today, she's the reporter for or she was a reporter for Fox News. I don't know if she is. Tommy Lauren. She basically tweeted and said something along the lines of, you know, burning buildings or burning property isn't going to bring him back or anything like that. Somebody responded to that and said, well, y'all had a problem when we took a knee during the national anthem. You know, right. You guys had a problem when we protested then. You guys have a problem with us protesting this way now. When will you not have a problem when we protest? You know? And that was actually a very good point.
And the answer to that, for everyone out there will never be an okay way for us to protest. There's never going to be an okay way because that's against the plan. Now I'm starting to get to my conspiracy. I'm starting to get to like the core of myself. I know that I'm not trying to cause any heat for what you're trying to do. You're trying to do the right thing and help give the voice a platform. But I'm gonna tell you right now, it's never gonna be okay. It's never gonna be okay. And we're gonna have to continue protesting. We're gonna have to continue kneeling. We're gonna have to keep doing whatever it takes to get people to wake the fuck up and open up your ears and knock off the madness because it's not done. It's not stopping. So, yes, we will continue to protest. Yes, we will continue to be loud. Yes, we will continue to let you know we have our rights. And we have the right to let you know that we are aware of this. We should be able to live and not fear every person around us. Yes, we will let you know. So,
like Malcolm said, by any means necessary, right?
It means necessary, man.
Well, Mike, you know, I mean, thanks for coming on and giving you know, the public a little bit of your accounts for everything that happened that you experienced tonight. I'm glad to see that you're safe. I'm glad to see that you're home. You were saying that you were hungry, so hopefully you get a bite to eat. You know, hopefully you'll be able to get someone to deliver some food to you right now, man. You know?
Yeah, it ain't coming out of downtown right now.
No kidding, man. No kidding. Dude, man, I mean, I appreciate you being on here right now. It's kind of late right now, dude. Please be safe out there, dude. You know, hopefully LA will still be here tomorrow and you can continue on your protests and everything, man. I'm there with you in spirit. You know, and I hope things get settled, and hopefully those that need to be brought to justice are brought to justice and tried accordingly.
Yes, 100%. And Xander, I want to tell you, man, thank you so much for, you know, giving me the time and space to share my experience and well, basically our experience, because we're all affected by this.
Very true.
And for everyone that's listening, silence is no longer an applicable option. Like, if you feel something, then you have to do something. You can speak on it. You can express your feelings. You can let people know what's right and what's wrong. Like, we were raised to do that. So the time is now to flex these good morals that we were brought up with. So you'll always have Nightmare in your corner. Obviously, we got Xander and the rest of Dirty Machine. We'll back you up, but let's get this done together, y'all.
Agreed. And Mike, I always say this anyway. These are on special circumstances, but I still ask anyway. How can people stalk you on social media so that way maybe they could talk with you and, you know, maybe even hit you up and be like, hey, when's the next protest? We'll go with you or something, you know?
Absolutely. You can find me on Facebook, Mike Weekly. That's WEEKLEY on Facebook. You can find me on Instagram. I'm Stage Lurker, exactly the way it sounds. STAGELURKER on Instagram, Stage Lurker. I don't do Twitter. I don't do Snapchat, but I am always on Instagram and I'm always on Facebook. Y'all hit me up. Let me know your feelings. Let's talk about it.
Beautiful. Maybe next time, bring a lunch with you, man. That way you're not starving or anything, you know?
Straight up, man. Straight the fuck up. No doubt.
All right, brother. You be blessed. You be safe, man. And we'll talk to you soon, man.
Thank you very much, family. You be good. We'll talk to you later.
All right, brother. Thanks so much, Mike Weekly, for being on this special edition of the Xander Effect. It's a very delicate situation that we're all facing right now, but unfortunately, this is these are situations that we all need to come together peacefully, do the best that we can, and just keep on doing what we're doing. We will get through this, just like we're getting through the current pandemic. We're getting through that little by little. We'll get through this as well together. So make sure that all of you are safe out there. Make sure all of you are, trying to not get into any trouble, because it's a crazy time right now, and we need to stick together. We definitely need to stick together. Thank you so much for listening to this special edition of the Xander Effect. And remember, music always heals all. We'll see you next time.